my name is Emily and I have a new tattoo. So me and my sister went to get tattoos together recently. Here we are. She got some song lyrics and I got the gender fluid symbol. Here it is. So over the past few years, I have come to accept and love my feminine side, being a demigirl, being gender fluid, and now I have a tattoo to represent that. So I say this is the gender fluid symbol. This is a gender fluid symbol. There's lots of different symbols around that represent gender fluidity because there is no one group of people deciding this is the symbol for gender fluid. Now, demigirl is actually my preferred label. This is the demigirl flag behind me, and demigirl does have a symbol, but I'm not a big fan of it. It is the female symbol with the circle and the cross going down, but one of the symbols has been removed, and I just don't like it that much. To me, it looks like a key in a PlayStation 1 game. So the gender fluid symbol that I chose as a tattoo is both the male and female symbols connected with one circle with little bits coming off of it that I suppose represent motion and it's moving between male and female. That's how I see it anyway. I tried to find the origins of this symbol, but I couldn't really find out who created it. The earliest I could find was it showed up on a Tumblr post on an account called Pangendering back in 2014. That's as far as I can work out where it came from. If you happen to know any more about this symbol, please let me know in the comments. So while I was researching the gender fluid symbol, I just kind of started to think, what is the point of the male-female symbol in the first place? Why do these symbols actually exist? So there's lots of different symbols now like the gender fluid one, but the male and female one I thought went back the furthest. So I thought, well, let's start there. Let's find out what these symbols actually mean. Where did they come from? I have heard in the past that the male symbol is supposed to represent an erect penis and the female symbol is supposed to represent the ovaries. So I started by just trying to work out if that is actually the case. First of all, the male and female symbols are actually planetary symbols. The male symbol is the symbol for Mars and the female symbol is for Venus. Which, by the way, I'm guessing is where John Gray got the title of his book from. So, when did these symbols move from being planetary symbols into being gender symbols? Well, it turns out that the first usage of these symbols as male and female comes from Carl Linnaeus in the 1700s, who was a botanist, and he used the symbols to denote the sexes of plants, not people. He decided to use the Mars symbol to mean male in plants and Venus to mean female in plants. However, he also used the Mercury symbol to represent hermaphroditic plants, which we would now call perfect plants, which is a much better name. So then, the symbols originally came from planets and then they started being used for plants. Literally nothing to do with people, that much is clear. Apparently, the planetary symbols were also used in alchemy to represent the 7 metals known to the ancients, but that's an entirely different thing. I'm not even going to go down that route. We'll just be here forever. So now we have the symbols' origins being about planets. But why do planets need symbols? We have to go back further. So the symbols were originally used to denote deities, which makes sense because planets were named after the gods. But why these symbols were chosen for these deities is still a little bit of a mystery even to academics. I found a Harvard paper which also tried to find this out, and that included this cryptogram, which includes 6 of the 7 planetary symbols, and this goes back to the 6th century. They argue that most of these symbols come from the Greek language, but some of them are centuries older than even that. Anyway, I'm going to put links to all of the documents that I found for this research in the description if you are interested in doing your own research. So let's get slightly back on track now. Why did Carl Linnaeus in the 1700s decide on these symbols to denote the sexes in plants? Which, by the way, it turns out isn't really that important a thing. Only about 5% of plants are either male or female. Most plants are hermaphroditic, which again, we would now call perfect plants. But again, why did he choose these symbols specifically? Well, it turns out that he used the other planetary symbols as well. He had already used the symbols for Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and the Sun to denote woody, herbaceous perennial, biennial, and annual plants respectively. So it could just be that he had 2 symbols left over, and then when he decided to denote sex in plants as well, he decided to use Venus and Mercury to define sex, and then reuse Mars to also mean male. He did still have the moon symbol left of the classical planetary symbols, but he didn't use that in any of his works, which I think is very ironic because he now has a crater on the moon named after him. So from what I can gather, and this is just my own personal opinion, it seems that he just had 2 symbols left over, and so when he decided to denote sex, he just used them and reused Mars for some reason to denote male. It seems to have just been, this is what he had left, and he decided to use them. So, to go back to my original question, was the male and female symbol chosen because they represent the male and female anatomy? Almost definitely not. because they were chosen to represent plants, and famously plants do not have wee-wees or foo-foos. You know, this video was supposed to be about my new tattoo. It's kind of gotten away from me a little bit. So to bring it home, I have a new tattoo. It's really cool. I'm considering getting another tattoo to fill in the circle of this tattoo. Insert joke about Emily wanting her hole filled. I was wondering about getting the tattoo filled with the demigirl flag, but then that might be confusing because it's a gender fluid symbol and that's the demigirl flag. But I could get it filled in with another flag that I identify with, like the bisexual flag or just the pride flag. I don't know. If you've got any ideas of what tattoo I could use to fill in that circle with, let me know in the comments. This video was a wild ride, but I really did have fun just following this random thought that I had. Hooray for having ADHD. I might make more videos in the future about other LGBT symbols because they really do have interesting histories. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please do click like and subscribe. It really would help me out. My name is Emily Shadows. I love you all very much, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.